I rolled into the Cataloochee Valley, hoping to find elk, a river, a lake. It's got like some weird thing going on with like a car festival. It's like wall-to-wall people. So, yes, I know. So I have to escape here and figure out where to go next. I think I want to find, okay, I have Ella Road is a place where there's a boondocking opportunity that supposedly has elk. So I get to Ella Road and it's perfect. It's a picnic area on the Tuckasegee River. I get out and walk the river and I get to this part where there is a fisherman standing there just fishing, and there's little tiny, but not little tiny, there's big yellow butterflies like swarming around him, just sort of dancing on air. And as I get closer, he sees that I'm like butterfly curious. So he points me to this spot in a stump where there must have been like 50 butterflies. There is a belief by thousands of people through generations and ancient folklore that if you come across a flutter of butterflies, or if one butterfly approaches you, that it's loved ones who have passed who have come to say hi. When I was in North Dakota, I took a trip there shortly after my mother died, and the whole trip I felt like she was with me. She wasn't a traveler, but I felt her energy of excitement for me and for her, because she wasn't used to this kind of thing. So we're at this one picnic area, boondocking on a lake in North Dakota, and Sammy's just walking around, marking the territory. Suddenly, all these little tiny white butterflies start dancing around him. Like they're not trying to scare him, they're not scared by him. They're just happy, enjoying the space. And I really, really believed at that moment that that was my mom coming to say hi. Anyway, from there, I like walked the road along the river, and I saw a town I didn't recognize, not because I should recognize it of having seen it, but because it looked like a foreign neighborhood. It was poor, clearly, but it was more unfinished and like undeveloped than it was poverty. I mean, there was a sign that said prom dress is $5. I mean, what kind of prom dress are you getting for $5? But clearly they went to, these young people go to a prom. I said goodbye to Ella Road and I headed for a river in Tennessee. But first I had to get water. Now, getting water in a van is probably the most difficult thing you can do, because it used to be that every gas station had a water spigot right next to the air machine. I remember this clearly because 25 years ago, I desperately needed that water spigot. My dog at the time, a white Bichon, had eaten a giant pile of yellow poop. And when I saw it, it was all over his face. So I put him in the bathtub and I washed his face, and I found an engorged tick on his face. So I took him to the vet. Everything was fine. The vet removed it and we headed home. But on the way home, he got car sick all over my brand new car. And so I pulled in at the first gas station and there was a hose there. I hosed down that car because the stench was just like, but that was then. Nowadays, like if you want to find water at a gas station, sometimes they're at like a truck station, gas station. I've seen spigots at rest areas where there's a picnic area, but you're going to need a 50-foot hose if you want it to reach the tank of your water tank. Now, if you're just filling jugs, then that's not a problem. And everybody does it differently. Some people just fill jugs. Some people have a hand pump. Some people, like me, want the works, an electric pump and a full well-piped plumbing system. And it's actually very easy to build. I thought it would be difficult, but it's not. So anyway, my favorite way to find water is through iOverlander. And if you do it, like if you're headed out on the road and you find water options on your route to where you're headed, then you pretty much will be okay. If you leave it to fate that you'll run into a spigot for water, then you're probably going to lose out. So iOverlander this time led me to a natural spring that was like right next to a Baptist church. I've been to several of these natural springs, and every single time it's clearly a place that the locals just love, because every time I get there, there's locals there and you wait in line to fill your tank. And it was nice because like I started a conversation with everybody about the water and how we wish there were more water wells like this and how I'd seen some in other places. It was really friendly. Like when you're an outsider and you enter somebody else's world, especially one that's a fairly poor world, and you're pulling up in a big white van, you need to find grace. Like you just need to find grace. And these people returned it. It was really, really a beautiful experience. This is one of the fun things, I think, about van life is you go into these communities and you meet strangers in worlds that you're not accustomed to. And it's just mentally happy. So from there, I left and went to Joyce Kilmer Road. Now, Joyce Kilmer Road is a beautiful, beautiful national forest, but I stayed at spot 17, and there was one after me, and there's probably a one. So there's probably 18 campsites that are set up with fire rings, tent pads, and picnic tables. Now, the first night I got there, I knew there wouldn't be a spot. When you're boondocking someplace where locals frequent it, you don't arrive late and you don't arrive on a weekend. But so I also knew that there was a boat ramp that I could easily camp at. So I pretty much like drove down the road and peeked at the spots that were all taken, but I was headed for the boat ramp. And the boat ramp was really cool. I met a girl there that was camping in her car, had found this new adventure that she wanted to experience. I met a guy who, just like me, couldn't get the earlier spots. He was traveling with his cat in a van. I met these teenagers that had just come to play in the lake. So it was really sort of a fun, lively place to park. But the next day, I drove off and I saw an empty spot. I pulled in, I pulled down the big hill, and it was beautiful. It was like a brook with running water. There was a camp ring and a picnic table, and down a little alley there was a whole other tent pad and fire ring. Just like, it was really, really nice. But I would always like to sleep with my back doors facing the water if there's water around. It's just the best way to fall asleep. And so I had to make a 42-point turn in order to get with the back of my van facing the water. My advice, back in. I stayed there for a couple days, and then I moved on to the next stop, which was my meetup with friends in Arkansas, where my entire future plans took a complete left turn, literally. You can find that in the video that I posted next about boondocking on the Texas beaches.